Like there. There we go. Right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, welcome back to another stream here on the channel. It is WWE. No, it's not. No, that's my Twitch name. Sorry, guys, I got a little bit confused there. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, guys, of course, welcome back to another stream here on the channel. It is Football Fan 148 here, and today, of course, I am going to be doing, of course, the draw predictions for, of course, the Champions League last 16 draw, and of course the Europa League and Europa Conference League not playoff draws today. So yeah, let me officially just bring up like what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, officially what I've got here is, of course, I've got all the names. There we go. Right, it's the first time I've actually done this, guys. So, of course, please bear with me. So, as you can see, of course, we've got all the teams there. So, yeah, of course, we've got, of course, the seeded teams. The seeded teams are, of course, the group winners. Of course, the group winners of course, all the Champions League groups were, of course, Munich, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, Manchester City, and Barcelona. Whilst, of course, the group runners-up were Copenhagen, PSV, Napoli, Inter, Lazio, PSG, Leipzig, and Porto. Now, of course, the draw procedure, of course, as everyone knows, of course, 8 teams containing 8 balls containing the numbers of the group runners-up placed into a bowl. Of course, the first ball is then drawn from it, and of course, the team drawn is placed as the home team in match 1. Now, of course, in accordance with draw conditions, the computer will then show which group winners are eligible to play as the visiting team in like the first leg. Now, these teams' names are then placed into a bowl, and then a bowl is then drawn from that bowl to complete the pairing for the first leg when the team drawn placed as the visiting team in this match. Now, the above procedure is, of course, then proceeded for the remaining matches. And, of course, if the computer indicates that only one group winner is eligible to play as the visiting team in a match, then that team is automatically assigned a match and no ball is drawn. Yeah, that's pretty much how, of course, it's going to be working in the actual draw, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, but anyway, let's indeed get on with it. So, yeah, just one last thing I need to open up, if I can actually find it, that is. There it is. Right. Right. Come on, don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Oh, I need it to work. Especially now. There we go. It's up. Yep. So all good, ladies and gentlemen. We are officially all good now. For, of course, so I think draw for the prediction for the Champions League to get. So yeah, let's indeed, of course, indeed first come out, and it will be, of course, the of course, pretty much won every single one of their group matches in the group stage, and of course came very, very close to, of course, losing to Red Bull Salzburg in the last round. So in the final round of fixtures. So yeah, interesting indeed. Right. So the next team out, we have got tie there. That would be interesting if that did happen. That happened in the draw. That would be very interesting. Right. Okay, next team out. We've got, of course, Arsenal had a bit of a mixture, really. But, of course, the next team out is, of course, Real Madrid. Of course, they won all their matches. So, Real Madrid, of course, struggles, of course, to win a bit of a mixed season Champions League-wise. Of course, they lost their first game, but no, was it lost or drawn? I think it was lost. Yeah, I think they lost their first game, but then, of course, came back strongly to, of course, qualify for the knockout stages. But anyway, of course, Real Madrid, of course, will be facing off with fellow Real Sociedad. Of course, this has been first that Real Sociedad did, of course, have, of course, stages. Well, if they were first time, but I think probably first time it may be like anyway. So yeah. Anyway, next one out is, of course, Borussia Dortmund. Of course, they qualified by the skin of their teeth. Did Borussia Dortmund? So yeah, be interesting to see who, of course, Dortmund will be facing. And Dortmund will be playing Inter Milan. Yes, so, of course, Inter Milan, of course, fine for the knockout stages. Of course, Inter Milan, of course, made it to the final of last season's Champions League. Well, of course, they were beaten 1-0 by Manchester City in the final goal from Rodri. Okay, the next team out, we did think it was going to be Atletico Madrid, but indeed it's not Barcelona. And Barcelona will be facing Lazio, PSG, Lazio. Yeah, so Barcelona versus Lazio. Just got 8 teams left in there. FC Porto, of course, they qualified, of course, from the same group as Barcelona. So, yes. SC Porto, of course, qualifying with Barcelona, of course. So beat Shakhtar on the final round of fixtures to indeed qualify for the knockout stages. The next team out is, of course, PSV Eindhoven. Of course, they qualified, of course, against Arsenal in the final group game, which made sure that Lens did not catch them in any capacity. Okay, next up, of course, we've got RB Leipzig, of course, finished second in their group. So RB Leipzig, of course, finishing second in their group to of course, Manchester City. So, yeah, RB Leipzig, of course, out there. And, did I miss out team or something? Oh, okay, PSV are in there. Okay, I just missed the team, guys. I did, but apparently not. So, okay, next team out to take on to take on RB Leipzig will be, of course, the Italian champions, Napoli, qualified from there. So, looks like the final 4 teams, ladies and gentlemen, we've got is Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, SC Copenhagen, and PSG. And first team we got out is, of course, Bayern Munich. For them, pretty much not losing any one of their games. Of course, we're the first ones to indeed qualify for the knockout stages. No, actually, ladies and gentlemen, since, of course, Bayern Munich really did face off against SC Copenhagen in the group stage, I'm surely probably not in the right proper group. So, yeah, I'm going to do it again. But anyway, so, of course, looks like Bayern Munich will indeed face Atletico Madrid. And indeed, of course, we know who the indeed going to be, but let's just see who's going to be the home team and who's going to be away. And looks like it, of course, be PSG versus Copenhagen. So since they're the final team in there, we really don't exactly need to do them again. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, that's the conclusion of the Champions League group predictions. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just see, of course, which teams we got for the Champions League last 16 knockout stages. So we've got Man City versus Arsenal, Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad, Borussia Dortmund versus Inter Milan, Barcelona versus Lazio, SC Porto versus PSV, RB Leipzig versus Napoli, Bayern Munich versus Atletico Madrid, and PSG versus FC Copenhagen. So that is the draw for the Champions League, ladies and gentlemen. So that is, of course, that is indeed the draw. So that is the draw predictions done for the Champions League last 16, ladies and gentlemen. So, let me just, of course, I'll briefly just stop sharing on the wheel for the time being. Just so, of course, I can indeed talk to you guys briefly there. So, guys, so that is indeed the Champions League draw predictions done and dusted. Just to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the actual dates of the first leg so of course the first legs of the Champions League will indeed be taking place on the 13th and 14th, on the 13th and 14th and 20th and 21st of February, and the second legs will take place on the 5th and 6th and the 12th and the 13th of March. So that is, of course, the Champions League draw done. So now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to indeed do the draw for, of course, the Europa League. Of course, that draw will be taking place at 12 o'clock today, be taking place at midday. So, yeah, so at least we know what teams we have indeed got for the, of course, the group stage. Yes. Yeah. No, not for the group stage. I meant for the knockout. The knockout stage is playoff draw. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you that, of course, the teams, indeed, of course, for right. So yeah, I'm just getting everything set up, of course, for the draw, of course, the playoff draw, ladies and gentlemen, of course, be teams from, of course, who finished as, of course, the runners up in the Europa League group stages, and of course the teams from the Champions League, which will indeed drop down from the into the Europa League. So I'm just getting a few things sorted out there for you all. So, yeah. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I think I've got them all set. Right, so let me indeed show you who indeed is, of course, for the next one. Of course, teams in, of course, this draw, we have got of course, the teams who finished as the runners up, of course, are SC Freiburg, Olympic Marseille, Sparta Prague, Sporting Lisbon, Toulouse, Stade Rennais, AS Roma, and Quarabas, Braga, Benfica, Feyenoord, AC Milan, Young Boys, and Shakhtar Donetsk. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So there. So yeah, let's indeed get this draw underway. So okay, the first team we have got is, of course, looks like it's going to be one of the Champions League who did quite well in the tournament, and of course, narrowly knocked out, of course, by PSV. Of course, PSV beat to that, of course, that place in the knockout stages. Of course, RC Lens very, very close into getting into the knockout stages there. But anyway, of course, facing Ireland will be the team their games. Of course, the of course, at the Olympic Stadium, of course, in Azerbaijan. So, yeah. So, yeah, next team out, of course, there is, of course, SC Freiburg, of course qualified from the Europa League group stages for the knockout stages playoff draw, and they will be facing, or they'll be taking on Marseille. Yeah, so they'll be taking on Marseille, of course, former multi-time champions. Okay, next out we have got so we have got, ladies and gentlemen, Stade Rennes, and Stade Rennes will be facing Stade Rennes. I think they finished top. No, they finished runners up in their group, and Stade Rennes will be taking one of the big sides from the Europa League, and of course one of the big sides in Portugal, actually, Sporting Lisbon. And okay, next team out will be one of the Champions League sides, and that is SC Braga. Of course, pretty much great Champions League group stage campaign for them, really. Not exactly pretty much one of the best, not one of the best they've had. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. So, of course, that in there. Braga will be taking on. They will be taking on Toulouse. So, of course, the runners up that Liverpool did. So, Toulouse will indeed be taking on SD Braga. Next team out is, of course, another one in the Champions League teams that dropped down. Of course, Benfica. Of course, they are one of the toughest in that draw, ladies and gentlemen. So, if I was any other team, I really wouldn't exactly be wanting to face the multi-time, of course, Portuguese champions, and the multi-time Portuguese champion on the multi-time Champions League winners, and of course multi-time Italian champions, AC Milan. Of course, AC Milan, but Benfica versus AC Milan. That would be a very interesting match to watch. Next team up again is another team from Champions League in Feyenoord. Of course, in the same group as Celtic. Of course, were unable to really do anything in their group, and Feyenoord will be facing. They'll be facing one of the Europa League sides in Sparta Prague. It says Sparta Prague. It's actually just Final Four teams, ladies and gentlemen. We've got AS Roma, Galatasaray, Young Boys, and Shakhtar Donetsk, one of the Europa League sides, and of course three of the teams dropped down from the Champions League, and one of them will indeed be Shakhtar Yeah, will indeed be Shakhtar Donetsk. Blimey, it's actually really. God, blimey, Shakhtar Donetsk, one of the tough teams to really write there. So there we go, Shakhtar Donetsk there. Okay, final three teams, and Shakhtar will be facing. Oh, for God's sake, you've got to be joking. They will be facing off against Galatasaray. So Shakhtar Donetsk versus Galatasaray. And this means, of course, it will be AS Roma versus BSC Young Boys, but who will indeed be the home team in that? Let's find out. And it will be Young Boys who are the home team there. Yes, the Young Boys, of course, will indeed be taking on AS Roma. So, yeah, of course, Marinos in there. So, yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So that is, of course, all the teams, of course, from the Europa League. And, of course, the dates for that. We indeed now have the dates for those. Of course, the Europa League. Indeed, the knockout dates for, of course, for the 2023/24 Europa League knockout stage playoff matches. Playoffs. They will take place on of course, the 15th and the 22nd of February. So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, so that is, of course, the Europa League done. Now, of course, we've got, of course, the champion. Now we've got, of course, finally the Europa Conference League to do. Just around 26 minutes until I need to go live for the Champions League draw. Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of the teams, of course, will be a little bit difficult for me to pronounce. I'm just saying that. So, yeah, it will take a little bit of difficulty for me for some of these. I mean, some of these I know, but some of them I don't. So you will have to be patient with me so I can pronounce some of these. Again, some of these I do know, some of them I really don't. Right, so there we go. Right, we've got the teams sorted there. So we got them sorted. Right. I just got like this weird like, sensation down weird, guys. It's really weird, that type of thing. It's just really, it's just a weird sort of warmish thing, really, down my back. It's weird in a way. But anyway, let's. Oh, hello. Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. Right, yeah. I thought, no, you were actually going to see that. So, yeah, I didn't know that you were going to see that. So, yeah, I've just been, of course, typing down the teams there. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the teams that we have got for, of course, the next round. So we've got RC Lens versus Quarabag, SC Freiburg versus Marseille, Stade Rennes versus Sporting Lisbon, SC Braga versus Toulouse, Benfica versus AC Milan, Feyenoord versus Sparta Prague, Shakhtar Donetsk versus Galatasaray, and Young Boys versus Roma. Right, so here we go. The Europa League draw. Let me just briefly, I'll save that one later. But anyway, here we go, guys. So here we go. Let's get the Europa League, the Europa Conference League draw underway. And first team out is Real Betis. Real Betis, of course, out there. And they will be facing Frank Cavario CTC. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, guys, for that one. It's a bit of a stretch indeed, really, saying that one. Okay, next team out is, of course, GNK Dynamo. And JNK Dynamo will be facing of course. I think there's some Israeli team out. We have is they played in the Champions League. I remember this team, guys, because of course they played in the Champions League. Of course, a few years ago. Of course, they almost ended up beating Arsenal. If it were, almost ended up getting a draw with Arsenal on that day. Okay, so of course, and they facing Slovan Bratislava. Again, some of these teams I've heard of, some I haven't. Of course, Stone Grass team out. Again, never heard of that team before until now, guys. Okay, next team out is, of course, a team I know of, guys. Olympiacos. So, yeah, Olympiacos, next team out. So, yeah, we've now got 8 teams left. Guys, and now got Bodo and Glimp. Yeah, I think they're like some team from Sweden, I think. Oh, sorry, Bodo and Glee will be taking on Union Saint Gilloys. Yeah, Union Saint Gilloys, of course, they were in the same group as Liverpool in the Europa League. So the next team out, of course, again, of course, I remember this team, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, they were in the Champions League with Chelsea a fair few years ago. Of course, I haven't clapped my eyes on them since that day. And Glip and Ghent will be taking on a more So yeah. And next team out, of course, is a team I know fair too well. It's of course champions from the Netherlands. Of course, I normally see them playing in the Champions League. It really hasn't exactly been great for them over the last few seasons or so. Really, ever since, of course, they got the semi-finals of the Champions League. And Ajax will be taking on the German side. Another team I know of because, of course, they played Chelsea, of course, in the Europa League semi-finals back in 2019. Of course, they recently beat Bayern by 5 goals to 1, of course, in the Bundesliga, so I know them. And of course, the final 2 teams we've got Legia Warsaw, Servette. And of course, the team looks like it's going to be Servette. Let's see, and they will be taking on Legia Warsaw. So, here we go. That is done, ladies and gentlemen. That is officially all done now. So, yeah. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is, of course, all done. So, of course, the draw for the Europa Conference League, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so of course the dates for, of course, the UEFA Europa Conference League knockout stages will, of course, be on again the 15th to the 20th and the 5th on the 15th and the 22nd of February. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's of course the Europa League. That is of course the Champions League, the Champions League Last-16, and the Europa League and Conference League playoff draw all done. So yeah, it took me a while, but yeah, eventually got through it. So yeah, it'll take me a while. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, that's me done and dusted. But of course, we got, of course, the Champions League draw starting in the next 15 minutes, which, of course, I will indeed be live for here on the channel. So, yeah, I'll be live for that here on the channel. Of course, the Champions League Champions League Last-16, Champions League Last-16, of course, draw takes place, of course, at 11 o'clock here. Whilst, of course, the draws for the Europa League and the Conference League playoff draws, of course, they take place at midday and at 1 p.m. So I'm not exactly sure if I'll be live for the Europa League and Conference League playoff draws, but I'll definitely be live for the Champions League one taking place in like 14 minutes time. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all very much for watching, guys. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this prediction stream. Let's just sit now, ladies and gentlemen. All we got to know is what will the actual draws bring us. Yeah, so we'll find that out. Find that out literally later on today. So yeah, of course, the Champions League takes place. A Champions League draw, of course, starts at 11. The Europa League draw takes place at midday, and of course the Conference League draw takes place at 1 p.m. So yeah, please of course make sure you don't forget, guys, of course those timings for the draws. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'll see you later. This is Football Fan 148 signing off. I'll see you later, guys. Peace.